Hi there, welcome to Dave in the Shed. I'm Dave and this is my little corner of the world, also known as the Shed Mahal. Now if you're into DIY, 3D printing and model trains, you've come to the right place. Now fair warning, I do things a little bit differently. I have cerebral palsy, which means sometimes things get a little bit creative around here, but hey, it just makes it more fun. So if you like making, fixing, and maybe even breaking things along the way, stick around. Hit that subscribe button and let's build something awesome together.
Down in the shed where the magic begins, Dave's got his tools, let the fun commence. 3D printing dreams, watch him come alive. With every little gadget, man, he starts to thrive. Blueprints in hand, technology so keen, building up the future like a crafty machine. Model trains rolling on a whimsical track. In this shed of wonder, there's no time to slack. Oh, Dave in the shed where the vibes stay high. Creating with passion, he's reaching for the sky. DIY master in a vibrant samba flow. Hope you enjoyed the video, let's get ready to go. Let's get ready to go.
Well, hello. I was going to say happy Friday, that's a bit silly. Hello and welcome to this week's Friday update from Dave in the Shed, filming this on Friday. No midweek filming this week, I've been a little bit of a busy person, but anyway. First up, finally, the substation has got its safety fence. Due to the narrowness of it being a narrow gauge railway, it's really close on the fittings, but there, nobody can walk up closely and touch the nasties, although with the fence so close to that transformer, you might get the odd eddy current. On the wrong day, you might walk up and touch the fence and get a little bit of a tickle. I don't know if you heard that, but that was just the heater shutting down. Anyway, so there is the fence. Now, I'm going to talk more about the fence in a little bit, but there is the fence around the substation. I cheated. I went on the interwebs and found some fence panels that were designed for tabletop wargaming and just pinched those and use it, and they're perfect for what we want to do. They're very good. We'll talk about the fence a bit more and not in a bit, but anyway, let's go for a wander down here, and we have now a controller. Now this is a DCC Concepts. It is the AS2S, whatever model is, if anybody wants the full detail. Now this is a solenoid point controller. It allows you to control solenoid points off your DCC bus. And I should have brought the, hang on. We're going to go for a bit of a walk because I should have brought the controller with me. Anyway, that is, if you want the details, let me know, but it is a DCC Concepts ADS2SX or 2. Anyway, it's a 2-channel controller. Hang on. So I have set out what I wanted to do. So I'm just grabbing a controller and talking to you. So I have over here we have two mounted next to the point motors that are surface mounted in there, and these allow these 2 points to be remotely controlled in 2 ways. So this is the easiest point to see. So there is, for the point on this side of the shed, which is the return loop point, there is a set of switches here that fire off that point left and right. And over here, I just want to separate them because they're a little bit further. Over here is a set of points that then works this point in here. So you can push these things. You'll hear the point flick. You can't see the point and throw the switches at the same time. So I can do it via the switch panel. Now, one thing I didn't realise, although these are capacitor discharge controllers, the capacitor is slow to recharge. So if you throw the points simultaneously in quick succession, if you throw them very quickly, the capacitor doesn't recover, and it causes a little bit of a problem because you think the point's gone 40, and it's only 3 or 4 throws. Anyway, so there is over here, I'll just go back and see. So to give them space separation, the panels are separated, so you can't work the wrong button. So there are buttons here that throw the point, and same with this one. Look at this. So within that time, there is not enough power to throw the points. You've got to let the capacitor recharge again. So throw, 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 no energy. Wait, recharge. So that is a trap. If you go too quick, you run out of energy very quickly. So really only have one throw, and then you have to wait for the capacitors to recharge. So interesting. Okay, so I'll pull back, see if we can do a wide shot here, Dave. So you can see the panel and the points. Pardon my arm. And remembering that we've run out of energy very quickly. Although it's great that they do give that good positive snap. Setting them up, that caused me a little bit of, because you want to flick them, and then they didn't work. Okay, the next magic trick is I can also, and that is 0.312. So now I can go 0.311, that is 311. And now I can operate the points from the controller. Can you see that? I don't. But anyway, so I have achieved 2 aims. A, we have walk around and switch base there, plus you can walk around with your controller, which is really, really handy. Really, really handy. There is also the capacity to add LED light switching. It would be really good if the solenoid signal the semaphore signal could be operated off that, but it can't. I would have to add some fancy electronic software like GMIR, which would control my DCC bus, which would then pick up the signal of the point changing and then operate the signal. But that is really, really complicated stuff. To do that down the track, I would then have to add block detection in the train, so the computer would know where the train was and down the track. No, I might add some light indicators to indicate when the points are open and closed. That might happen. That's about it. So we've done that. Now, also up on this end, on the park gates, we have another switch panel. We have another ADS2 there. That's can read that one a lot clearer. It is the DCC Comtex ADS28S. Now you can get them in multiples, so you can have a 4 trigger one, and I think they do an 8, but I always just wanted to spread them out so there were 2, so I could do it modular. And I set up a control panel, I did all this, and I service mounted the points, and total disaster. Total disaster. Because it's on a slope, the point motors wouldn't sit in there and couldn't get them lined up and couldn't trigger properly. So I've had to reorder some surface mount point motors and bits and pieces, and we'll put them in there, and that should work. So we're still heading to motivate those 2 points, well, remote control those points on the same system with a control panel to operate the points, plus you'll be able to do it from the controller, and no more pulling the park out and doing all bits and pieces. That's the aim. Now, finally, since I stuffed up and had service mount point motors, I've decided to put them in here where they would work. And this has cost me more money because I now have to order a extra control box, and yeah, so I've mounted the spare point motors here. Now I've ordered more point motors because I've had to. So at this point over here, we'll put a surface mount point, which will make clear when I've done it, and we'll then hide it into a hut. I'm not sure how successful those side mount point motors would go, even though in theory they'd work, because this is actually a Hornby point, not a Pico point. Well, all the others are Pico point motors. But anyway, I've ordered a surface mount point for there, and a onboard top mount point. You'll see when I've done it. A point motor to go there, and another one that will be in the factory on that point there. So this entire reverse loop, and I'll explain it when it happens, will be on a controller as well. So the point in the factory and this point here, they'll operate. You can apparently operate 2 points simultaneous off those control units, and we'll soon find out. So there'll be a point motor, this point motor and the point motor in the shed will fire off at the same time because they need to work together. Well, if they don't, you're going to derail. And the point that I've got mounted here and the point that will be around here will be, once again, operate together. So the whole reverse loop point loop switches at one time, and there's a control panel here. I made up lots of little panels when I was making panels. Sits in here, and we'll mount the, probably on the side here somewhere, we'll mount the control unit because I do like them to be easy about there. Okay, so that's where we're up to with electronic points. Back next week shall be another update on the electronic points. And then I'll have to get underneath and tidy up all this wiring under here, won't I? Good thing about these controllers from DCC Concept is they run off the DCC bus. So where I've actually put the thing in, I have an access point, a master sort of like access point on the DCC bus. And I can, that is that white wire running in there is off the DCC bus. Plus they have a system, so if you want to run a separate power bus to all your point units, you can bus them as well in and out of each one. Anyway, DCC Concept. Right, back to the fence. I'm going to show you something here. I'm just rearranging stuff so you can see. I did, when I was printing up the fences, I did a test sample of them. Because I have access to different types of printers, I looked at which one was the best quality to do, and hopefully this will come across on camera, for the fences. So I ended up using with this lime green. Ignore the colour, it has nothing to do with anything, it's just that I use that colour a lot in the workshop. So one of the printers, we run that lime green in it. The colour differentiates in this test, just the different printers. This one came off a FlashForge 5 Pro. Now, if you want any more information about this and you get lost, now the FlashForge 5 Pro is a more professional based printer, and it was printing at 0.25 millimetre. So the nozzle had a diameter of 0.25 millimetre. Now, each of these took about roughly the same time to print in print time, but this is the ones that I went with, this lime green one, because it was the best. The best. Now this is why, if you look at that, that's pretty good. So we're going to roll along or walk along. Next one is the black one. Now this was off a, got to figure the name of the printer. It is a Creality K1 Max. So it is a large printer. It is designed to do large jobs very fast, and it's not as good. And now it was running at its max, go back to ground, it was running at 0.25 and about a 4.4 millimetre layer height. It's the best layer height that printer can do. Next one, K1 Max, Creality K1 Max, which is a large printer. Most people wouldn't have a K1 Max there. Once again, almost professional, well, it is a professional one. It was done at 0.4 millimetre nozzle, so the nozzle has a diameter of 0.4 when it's pushing out its little filament. It's not the best, it's a bit scrappy. Now, it's okay, it's usable. Hang on, no, I'm telling you the wrong printer. This was off the Creality High with a 0.4, ignore that. Creality High at 0.4, so this is an entry-level printer. This is a printer you can walk in and buy a lot of places, equivalent to Endofreeze, a lot of the Bambu stuff. So that is a stock standard Creality High, 0.4 nozzle, the best settings it could do, and that spat that out. So it is a bit rough. Not as good as professional printer, professional nozzle running that. Now they are both filament, FDM. Now the next one is a resin print. It is a Creality R5 Harlot. It is a entry-level resin printer. Most importantly for the resin printer. Took about 3 hours to print in the resin printer. I did not change any of the settings. I just sliced the file, sent it to the printer and print it. So whatever quality it was set to default at, that is its default setting. And the last one is, now this was done on the K1 Max, which is a large format printer. It's designed to do large things very fast. It's not your average household printer. Done in a 0.4mm nozzle and done as fast as the machine would go. So the quality on that is not good and it's a bit rough around the edges. Okay, so I admit that I wouldn't use that either. It's passable, but it's not as fine quality. I don't know if you can see there is banding on that. So now the thing is, for all those people who say, oh, filament printers are not as good for quality and detail for 3D models or doing odd stuff, I'm going to say poo-poo to that, because if you look at the difference between something that is done in a resin printer and something that is done on, fair enough, it is a high-end filament printer, that is far better. The quality between the two, if you've got any questions, I've just dropped it on the floor. Where'd it go? The quality between the two, I know which one I like. Now, one codicil. One thing is, if you're looking for something with fine detail, like if you're doing figures and people and bits and pieces, yes, the resin printer in some cases is better. But don't get suckered into saying, oh, you've got to have a resin printer for model railways, you've got to have one. No, you don't. You don't. Now, Flashforge 5M Pro is fair enough, bit of a high-end printer. Cost you about, I don't know what the price is in Australian dollars, I won't tell you, but if you want one, that's what I use. It's got a 0.25mm nozzle running just PLA, standard stuff, and that is the quality we're getting out of that compared to my resin printer. Horses to courses. Hang on. This is the equivalent FDM, filament printer equivalent to that, and tell you what, I prefer the filament. Anyway, that's it for this week. If you've got any questions, about trip over, standing up. Got any questions about anything you've seen in this video, let me know. Don't forget, give this movie a thumbs up if you like. Give the video a thumbs up if you like it. Subscribe to my channel if you've never seen my videos before. I try and put a video out every Friday about what I'm doing and what I'm in the shed. Glad to talk to you. Now, most importantly, before I go, remember, with all this stuff, like I did the test here on the different things, work out which was best, you don't know what you can do or what you can't do till you try. In the words, what they quote to Mr. Henry Ford, if you think you can, if you think you can't, you're right. So that's it for this Friday. Hopefully see you next Friday where we'll have an update on getting the points in, getting the working. Till then, catch you later. We might also have some update on the new loco shed, which is coming along. Till then, I've been Dave in the Shed. Catch ya.